Hi there guys, I thought that today would be quite cool to show you the equipment that I use to practice on, to mix on, and to get the drum sound in the video that I posted yesterday. Whether you like the sound or not, I think both ways will be a learning experience, how to do it or how not to do it. Yeah, and I'll just do a rundown of basic microphones, plugins, from the beginning to the end of the signal chain. So stay tuned if you want to see more. Ahoy! I reckon the best place to start will be from the source. So this is my Gretsch Catalina Birch drum kit. It is incredibly road worn. I have traveled all around South Africa with this thing. It has fallen off stages, been thrown in the back of cars. It's really beaten and battered, but it's held together really well and it's done its job incredibly well. Very happy with this kit. The skins, on the other hand, are a different story. The high tom skin is still the one that came with the kit. Goodness knows how it hasn't broken. And the other ones are also far gone past their lifetime. This is the snare that came with the kit. I'm using it as a replacement for a fourth tom because I don't have one. But the gigs I'm currently playing require me to play four toms, so I'm using it as a stand-in, and it's actually quite cool having two snares. My main snare is my pride and joy. It is a Mapex Sledgehammer hammered brass snare drum. An absolute beast of an instrument. Incredibly loud and also quite heavy, but it does the job pretty well. As miking goes, for overheads, I've got a pair of Aston Starlight microphones. Really happy with them. They've been a good buy and are doing me quite well. On the snare drum, I've got an AKG clip microphone. I'm not sure of the model of these guys, but it's doing the job pretty well. On the kick, I've also got the same AKG. Lots of high-end information, very little low-end information. So I've got the D112 inside to fill up the bottom end, and it's a D112, so it's doing well. The AKG in the middle here to capture the toms, kick and snare is also doing well. It's set in Omni. Not sure what model it is either. I don't even want to start on cymbals. They're absolutely atrocious. I've got one nice cymbal, but I don't play it because I know I'll break it. I need to change my technique. It's something I'm working on. All those microphones then run into a Focusrite Scarlett 18i20 interface with 8 channels preamp. And then in terms of monitoring, I've got a stereo pair of Genelec 8250As, which are phenomenal. I've got 2 Focal Shape 65s, which are a new purchase and really enjoyed them. These are the other side. And then in the center, I've got a Avantone Mixcube just as a mono reference speaker. And then they're all controlled by this Audient Nero monitor controller, which is absolutely incredible, really digging its functionality, and it has a lot of functionality, which is really cool. And the power horse over here is my 2011 MacBook Pro. This thing is just holding on for dear life. It is old, but it's still strong. And yeah, so that's my equipment. Now onto plugins. Let me start off by just stating that it's widely known that if you want to get a good recording sound, you have to get it right at the source. My drum kit is in an absolute abominable state, so I tried my best to get it sounding all right at the source, but mixing it was essential. I didn't do that much mixing. I haven't done that much processing on the channels or the instruments, but it was definitely necessary. And I do believe that in this day and age, it is quite important that musicians know how to mix, or at least have a fair understanding of mixing. So we're going to look at what I've done to get the sound of the video that I posted yesterday. And we will start off with the kick. So I grouped the 2 kick microphones into a mono auxiliary called kick. I know, inventive. And then on that channel, I've done some EQ. I did a mid-range cut and a high-pass filter at 30. We don't really hear, or most systems can't produce lower than that unless in a club, so there's no point. From there, I have compressed the channel, and then, yeah, pretty simple. On the snare drum, much of the same. Mid-range cut, a high pass filter. There was also an incredibly huge amount of bleed from the hi-hat on the snare mic. So as you can see there, I've had to dip back some of the extreme high frequencies to try and minimize that hi-hat a little bit, because there was a lot of bleed. Then that's running into this compressor as well. This compressor is really cool. I'm finding myself using it more and more. So yeah, let's see what happens on what I've labeled the smash microphone, which actually doesn't get smashed at all. It's just a name. Here I've done a mid-range cut as well, and then a bit of an upper mid-range cut, and then the standard high-pass filter. Ooh, then I've added some saturation. This plugin is absolutely awesome. It emulates analog tape saturation, so it does some wonders. And you can also add some really cool delay effects with this guy. Really, really handy. If you want it, well, you should get it. And then again, running into this same compressor. I'm finding myself using this guy more and more. It's really, really nice, but if you do more than 4 dBs of gain reduction, it starts becoming really evident. But it's cool that you can add a bit of distortion with it as well, or saturation. On the overheads, they've been grouped and are fed into a stereo auxiliary, which then has the same old high-pass filter and a mid-range cut. Just to clear out, I found, maybe it's just this room, but there's quite a mid-range build-up, so that was necessary to get rid of, and that's doing the job of that. Then that's also running through some saturation by this beautiful Waves, I think it's a J37 plugin, absolutely phenomenal. And then again, some compression. With this, I actually smashed these overheads, I really crushed it. I think I'm getting between, oh there we go, between -10 and -15 dBs of gain reduction, and I wanted that to get that really heavily compressed sound, but then as you can see, I've dialed back the mix knob, so it's the dry wet knob, so it's we're probably getting about 40% original signal and 60% crushed, so it's a nice mix. And then lastly, I don't create a new session to master in when I'm doing these little videos. So on the master, I've just got a bus compressor. This is modeled off the SSL-G series bus compressor, the famous one. And then that's fed into a L2 Ultra Maximizer. Pretty simple, and that's the signal chain for my drum sound. If you like what you've seen, or if you have anything to say, please leave a comment. Also subscribe. I'll be doing more videos like this in the future. So yeah, I'm glad that you guys could watch, and have a good one. Cheers, guys.